Esteban. Thank you for being a part of this session. Okay, let's begin. And how are you today?
I am doing well. Thanks for asking. And you?
Okay, glad to hear that. Okay, please introduce yourself. Tell me what's your semester and also what do you expect from this class?
Okay. Thank you, teacher Laura. And my name is Juan Esteban Spice. And exactly, I am at my seventh semester of the career. Um, what I expect about this course, okay, about this session, is to engage more about my perspective I have about education and more things
Hmm.
about my career in inside.
Okay, cool. Cool. You have a very good perspective. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to share my screen. For today's topic is education. So the idea for you is to respond a couple of questions for the topic. The first one is going to be, what should schools teach more? What subject, what type of activity, whatever.
Wow, what a great question. And why should schools teach more? Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I accept that I can teach English, but if I had chosen another career, I guess um, mathematics.
Why?
Yeah, mathematics because it's just like the art of earning knowledge by means of single symbols, but knowing that the topics inside that signature is relevant now in the actually environment and just getting a job, you need know about that signature respectfully.
Okay. Yes, absolutely agree. Especially the arithmetics, right? Yes, that's
Yeah.
the most important part of mathematics. Absolutely agree.
Ah,
Okay.
arithmetic.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad we are on the same page. Okay. Anything else you want to add to this question?
Mm, music, maybe.
Why do you think music should be important at schools?
It's so important to keep that part music because the music is the art of transforming a society and just for earning more knowledge and awareness about the culture. And the music is just like a great tool that you would use to transform the education in a better place by means different sounds, different instruments, to transform the knowledge of the students in a great place to be. Yeah, just like that I have about the music.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Great. Okay. So anything else, or shall we move to the next question?
Yeah. Now let's continue with another question.
Okay. Cool. Is university necessary?
Okay, I would like to answer um, by means of this response. Be honestly with it. If from one part, it's necessary because you need to engage more about your capacities and abilities inside the society, and then more about the realities in the real context, right? When we think about. But in another hand, in the other reality is inside that you are living in the real context, and you don't need more study, but you need to get initiative to create your own projects, you express your own ideas. But this question is so relevant and necessary to accounting for more.
Okay, interesting point of view. Yeah, that's true. The important thing is it's not to have a certification, but to have the knowledge and to have the capacity to transmit your knowledge to others. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, it's
And to
absolutely
have enough skills and knowledge to do these things in the right way. So we are on the same page, right?
yeah, exactly that point.
Okay. Anything else you want to add on this question, or can we move to the next
Mm. If you wish, we can move right to another question
one? Mm-hmm, cool. Okay, what skills are important for the future?
for the future. What a question, yeah. Maybe I would choose critical thinking skills
Mm-hmm. Right.
because from one part we have the reasoning, yeah. That part is so important to build a bridge about the situation and sort out the problems. And for another part, analyzing to like the capacity to catch up the information and molding that part and for more. Yeah. And other perspective, we have the decision making. And I assert that it's the most important step in your life, decisions making, because those decisions make mark your project of life.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yes, absolutely right. I think critical thinking is not so much appreciated today, isn't true?
And for me, it could be true. Um, Sometimes we are trying to improve more about that participation and more about critical thinking inside different projects because, in other countries, there are many roles about to this. Yeah, when the children are not available to be in different audience to express their ideas and the situations and problems in South Waste and more. But it's probably that critical thinking and maybe in crisis or something like this.
In crisis. In
Yeah.
crisis. Okay. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to say about this, or can we move to the next question?
The next question. Yeah.
Okay, cool. By the passing of time during the timeline, how has education changed from the past to today?
Okay, just like a teacher that in my process, maybe I would pointing out the mentality of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
By part of the tutors respectively, uh, due to the context is changing, right? AI tools and new technological resources are coming in the classroom, but I would say that ethical and moral aspects is changing in the way of teaching because for me there is an interesting word that is patience. Patience is just like a challenge that we have like a humans and in the art
Uh-huh.
in the action. It's easy to lose the control and knowing that you have a great pollution, knowing that though that pollution um can transform the reality that we have now because each generation represents a certain people learning every day, but it's so important to keep in mind that the way of always projecting the best version of the teaching in education,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
not
absolutely.
losing the posture or stance of that you are a professional, but are you so good like a person inside or outside the class, right? Outside the school? Yeah, it's just like they would
Yeah.
like to answer it and compliment about this question.
Yes, absolutely. I think, well, actually, we as teachers, we took the responsibility of managing the future of other people, their education.
Yeah,
So so we as teachers can't be selfish towards our students. So we
yeah,
have we must have the responsibility of 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 making of them good people, good professionals, and of course giving our knowledge in the best way possible.
yeah. That's true too.
Okay, good. Okay, anything else, or can we move to the next question?
Um, yeah, but I have a question. Are you sharing the screen?
Oh my, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. No, no worries. Yeah. Mm,
Sorry for that. Okay, give me a sec. Sometimes it stops sharing, but let me fix it. Okay, here you go. What would you improve in education? The education. What changes would you do with education?
What would I improve? Mm,
Mm-hmm.
wow. I would like to point out the communication just for getting good interaction because um I would like to answer something before answering correctly this question about a certain episode of I don't know that do you know the novel that is The Rose of Guadalupe? I don't know that you know. And and it's
The
so important
name,
because
what is
tell me,
the name?
yeah, in that novel I could recognize that new AI tool resources are changing the way of learning about the um, students because new resources like cell phones, computers, and new video games are changing the perspective about students, just losing the education and the integral growth in that part. And and I guess that the communication interaction is so relevant because there's no more ways to engage the knowledge and the attention about any person. It's just for the
Mm-hmm.
different way to communicate, right? And then you are studying music and you can communicate by means the music, right? Different
Mm-hmm.
sounds. You can transmit memories and teachings among others. Yeah. In this case, the communication next to the interaction, it's my answer.
Okay. Yes, absolutely in agreement. I think at some point also AIs are making education more dehumanized.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, it's that's absolutely true. Okay, you have very good points of view in regards to this topic. Those were all the questions. I want to know if you have more questions. I'm not sure. Doubts, concerns.
Mm, no, so far, no. It's and let me tell you that those are great questions.
Okay. Well, glad to hear that. In that case, this session is over. Thank you for being part of this session, Ms. Esteban. You have a quite good level of English.
Thank you so much. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much for this presentation and have a good day. Okay, the rest of the day.